All right, let's take a look at this fun little exercise here. So right now, 10,000, that's how many's in this array. Let's see if this causes a Stack Overflow. So I'm going to go ahead and serve this up and see what we get. So I'm going to jump to the HTML file and then click Go Live, and then jump to the console. And so right now we're not seeing any errors for Stack Overflow. So that seems to be working okay. So jumping back to Visual Studio Code, I'm just going to reduce the size of this a little bit so we can go ahead and see the console log while we play with this. So let's go up to, let's go 10,500. Let's see what happens there. So I'm going to change that number there. Save it. Still okay. Let's go to 11,000. I'm going to save it. And I'm still not getting any problems. So maybe we need to jump up more. Let's go 13,000. Still okay. Let's go 15,000. And there we get an overflow. So I don't know what the exact number is, but that wasn't really what I wanted to accomplish here. I just wanted to give you a chance to play with the Stack Overflow and see that eventually at some point it will cause the stack size to be exceeded. And then we get the error, uncaught range error. All right. So there's the error we were looking for. Now, how can we change this so that we can still keep this number and still be able to run this recursively and pop off all these items from the array? Well, in order to take advantage of the event loop, we can use the web API, we can use set timeout to actually invoke this function again. Okay? So instead of calling it recursively right away, we can use set timeout to invoke it. And so the way we would do that, set timeout, and then we pass in the function. Now we don't include the parentheses at this point because that will cause it to invoke right away. We just pass in the function and then it will invoke it once the timer has expired. Okay. So we're going to put a 0 after that for 0 milliseconds. We want to invoke right away. And so here's our new setup. Let's go ahead and save that and see what happens down here. Notice we're not getting the error. Let's go ahead and take a look at the array. See how many are left. We're down to 13,600. So that's how many has popped off. So obviously, since we're using the event loop, we're using the web API with set timeout in order to pop these off, it's taking longer to remove all of them because it has to set up that timer, then it puts something in the queue, and then that item from the queue is then placed in the call stack, and then it's popped off. And it's doing that over and over again. So let's look at it again, see how many we've reduced it to. Oh, we've got down 67,000 or 6,700 now. So it's moving through them, but it's kind of neat. You can see it do this because it's doing it so much slower. But notice it's not blocking. I can enter stuff here on the console, and I'm not blocked from doing other stuff in JavaScript. And so that's the advantage of the event loop working for us there. Let's take one more look. Almost done. And by the time I pressed return, it was done. So it's now cleaned off that array. So just a fun little exercise to explore the call stack and event loop a little bit. All right, let's move on to the next topic.